hey, they're looking for an assistant. Will you be interested? And things just happened. So he knew me from that small moment. I was like, yeah, I will trust him. So I ended up going to Southern Mississippi. All those little details, like for example, that call that you really don't want to do, and then you show up and then you do it. It's just like, well, I learned from this. Like, what if, like you said, like people will regret more the what if that actually doing the stuff. Like me coming from like a junior college, coming from NAIA, and then seeing all the things that D1 players get, it's just like, this is incredible. I believe spring is in a D1 program is one of the most crucial moments because it's a moment where you actually get to develop the players, The chance of coaching a national team, of course, you see like, big time coaching a national team, but I believe it's possible if you give yourself or volunteer yourself and the right people, then you might be able to get into it. And I think that will be the players will give like signatures and stuff like that. Of course, nobody cares about the goalkeeper coach, but one kid came to me and was like, "Oh, can I have your signature?" I was like, "Wow."
All the way around, it made you feel good.
It made me feel good.
Hey, what's up, Juan? How are you today?
I'm good. What about yourself?
I'm good. I appreciate you for coming back on the podcast again. You're coming from out of town, so your time here is very short, very calculated, and for you to spend it here with me, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for being able to do all this setup and doing all the things to get me back to it. I know it's a couple of days, just 4 days, but thank you for having the time, honestly, to have me back again. So I really appreciate it.
Of course. I feel like a lot has changed since the last time we spoke. I know it's only been maybe a year and some months, not that long. But, man, you're living in a different state. You're working in a different job. What happened? What's changed? How have you been?
Well, I think it was 1 year, probably, like February, I think was the moment we spoke last time. And a lot of things have changed. So, first, the biggest one, I changed states. So, I don't work anymore with MACU. I started working with the University of Southern Mississippi. I arrived there as a goalkeeper coach, but basically I'm the assistant coach as well.
Nice.
So, I think that's the biggest change for right now.
Southern Missouri, you said?
Yeah, Missouri.
How did that happen?
No, sorry, Mississippi.
Southern Mississippi.
Harrisburg, Mississippi.
You're in the South.
Yeah, in the South.
How did that happen? What happened?
It's a really funny story, to be honest. It's one of those stories that I tell people that, like, some things doesn't make sense, but then, like, things start connecting up, and then you see, like, the end result, and it's like, wow, how in the world this, like, match? So this is the whole story about it. I was during the spring, right? I was on MACU, everything was okay. And then James, remember I had like my Instagram page, Goalie Masters and all that.
Goalie Masters,
yeah. All
and
of
for
it.
people that don't know, if this is the first episode you're tuning into, you do Goalie Masters, which is just, it's a lot, but basically everything focused around the goalies mindset, what should goalies be practicing with, drills that they can doing. Your job is to make all goalies better in whatever way, right?
That's the goal, yeah. To provide more information to people about goalkeepers, give them some idea, and hopefully in the future it's gonna be a bigger thing. I'm hoping. So.
No, it's great. I like how you're putting specific content out there, and it's getting better. You're trying new things. I've been keeping up.
Thank you.
And so you've been making this content for a few years, and that connects you to.
So here's the thing. So it connects me to a team in Iowa with Adam. The ex, he's like AMK, I think is his last name. Don't want to say it wrong, but it's AMK. Yeah, he connects me with him, and he kind of knew Dean Johnson, that he was the head coach at Des Moines Menace, and then they connect me with that, right? So I go to Iowa for 6 months. I'm there, right? Only for the summer. So I start coaching for Des Moines, and then during all that, I used to do ODP as well here with the other Adam Kens, and then. It's going to be a long story, but you're going to see how everything's going to connect. Yeah. So after, like during those periods, I had a game on that day, and Adam calls me, right? And he is like, hey, there is an opportunity of going to Tennessee for a ODP combine. So first of all, that thing happened, and I'm like, oh, Adam, I really don't know, because we probably have a game that day, so I don't know if I can make it, and stuff like that. And he was like, okay, doesn't matter. Stay in Iowa, do your thing, and probably in the future you can come to a different thing. So things were like that, and then like 2 days after, I started thinking like, should I really go there, Like, should I go? Should I go? And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go. So I called Adam. I was like, hey, Adam, I know it's a little bit late, and you told me like you need the spot right away. Like I need to let you know as soon as possible. But is there any chance? He's like, okay, let me figure out if there is a chance, whatever. So he calls me, and then there's the opportunity of me going there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason of why, well, I mean, no, yeah. So he ended up inviting me there. We ended up having a game that day, but they gave me a permission to go, so everything was fine. I ended up going to ODP. I get to know a lot of people. Everything was great. And then one morning, again, things of life. So we have practice, and then the next morning I woke up, go to the hotel, and I'm getting breakfast. After I'm getting breakfast, I'm done with breakfast, right? And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay a couple of more minutes. Next day, right? Hotel, I go for breakfast in the morning, and then after breakfast, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay a couple of more minutes here downstairs just to see what happens. And then Coach Mo, so the head coach right now at Southern Mississippi, he shows up, things of life. And then we start having a conversation, everything good. And that's it. Nothing else happened. We just had a conversation, normal conversation. He shared me his story about playing and all this stuff. And then months later, I received a call from the assistant coach that he was at Southern Miss as well. And he was like, hey, they're looking for an assistant. Will you be interested? And things just happened. So he knew me from that small moment. I was like, yeah, I will trust him. So I ended up going to Southern Mississippi.
Wow.
Longest story, I know. I'm probably make it longer, but there are a lot of things that connected. And I was like, wow, this is important. Like, really. Mm-hmm. There was a reason of why I needed to go there. And honestly, I'm really grateful I went. I have learned so much so far.
That was going to be my next question. Did you make the right choice?
Yeah, 100% I agree. I think the choice I was going to take before wouldn't have taken me that much out of my comfort zone. Going to this new place, going to all this was really new for me.
Yeah, because you didn't know anybody.
Basically, I didn't know anybody. Also, here in Macchio, I was like just focusing on goalkeeping and stuff like that, not really in the whole team things.
You were getting
like
comfortable? Would you say you were getting
comfortable? Yeah, I was 100%
comfortable?
getting comfortable, you know. And then I went there, and like first week it was tough.
Why? How was it tough?
Everything. So I mean,
the heat is different.
Sorry?
The heat is different.
The heat was different. My AC car wasn't working, starting from there. So even the drive there, it was like 8 hours drive. It was really tough. Mm-hmm. Still, like, I didn't have a place. Like, these things. So they kind of hired me 2 weeks before preseason. So I really didn't have a choice. Yeah.
Let's go.
I know, exactly. And then also there was like an issue with like the paperwork and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I basically needed to travel outside of the country and then come back. Mm-hmm. So I needed to get flights like in a period of a week.
Where did you go?
I went to Mexico. I visited Josue, one of my friends.
You're just like, let's make a trip.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, if I'm going out, I'm just going to go and visit over. I mean, it was also cheaper.
Yeah. So I was just curious if you ended up flying back to Colombia or just...
No, it was way too expensive. Mm-hmm. And the idea was just like actually just going out. You just need to go out and then come in. So they can like update.
Yeah, you're basically showing... You're entering the country legally for a different purpose this time.
Basically. Mm-hmm. So, well, that happens. And then, again, 2 weeks, I didn't know nobody. I didn't know where I was going to stay. All my things were in the car. And it was just crazy. So I show up. I didn't get like an apartment until like 2 weeks later. So I was kind of living in an Airbnb. Mm-hmm. The person of the Airbnb, she was so class. So she was clutch? She was so class. She was one of the greatest person I have met. She's so nice. So she helped me a lot. And that's pretty much it. It has been a lot of work since that day. So it's amazing.
That's crazy how you went through all this trouble and, just to get out of your comfort zone. And now you're in Southern Missouri. Could you have imagined, No,
not really. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I'm not sure. I think I never told you my plans before. So before like all this of Southern Miss, I already have like kind of a plan of what's going to happen in the future. And then like all of that switched in just 1 week. So it was like really 3 days that was like stressful about what should I do, what kind of call do I need to do, what people advise me to, what's the best thing for me. Mm-hmm. And again, it's just different scenario.
Can I ask what your plan was? If not, it's fine. I totally understand.
Yeah, I don't know if that is good to say.
Okay, I get you. I totally understand. But I mean, it must have been hard, right? Were you thinking about like, oh, if I take this, like everything else is just out of the picture for now, or you just modified it, or?
No, yeah, it's kind of so. I mean, honestly, I don't mind sharing because it happened, so it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was meant to go to a different university,
Okay.
and then like with the paperwork, I think we never finalized like the stuff with the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe I didn't like follow up that much with the paperwork, and at the end, like things didn't work with the university. So like even telling the head coach about like, hey, I won't be able to come here. And again, this is like 2 weeks after preseason. So I'm basically telling like, hey, you're not gonna have a goalkeeper coach. So it's like a tough call to do and stuff like that. So it's just like a tough scenario and all of that.
Yeah. But I mean, now I think you said it best. It did end up working out for you, and it's crazy how you went through all those tests. And I mean, you're probably still going through those tests now, right?
Yeah, kind of. And again, like all those little details, like for example, that call that you really don't want to do, and then you show up and then you do it. It's just like, well, I learned from this. Like if I need to do it in the future, I already did it once at least, or stuff like that. But yeah.
And the best thing you can do is face those problems head on, because if you let it linger, it's just going to make it worse. And then if you don't do anything about it, then you always think, what if, and you didn't say what if, you were just like, let's go.
Exactly. And then that thing, even if you don't think about it, it can keep bothering you inside. Or again, like if I would have stick to that, I would have been in that same path of being comfortable and being like, I just accept this, besides just taking a extra step of what if, like you said, like people will regret more the what if that actually doing the stuff. For example, if the things in Southern Miss wouldn't have worked, I'll be like, okay, at least I try it, and then I can look for another thing.
That's what I've been telling myself. I was like, I've always been talking about coaching, and I think I finally told my wife, I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and then if I can't make it work, then I'll just stop and then I'll quit. But that's a lot better than me just saying like, one day, and then I don't. Well, at least I tried, and then it didn't work out. I'll sleep a lot better doing it that way.
Yeah, for sure, because you already know that it didn't work out, But then having that of like, what if, it just kills you,
Damn, we were meant to have this conversation. That's crazy. Well, before I ask you how your first season at Southern Miss went, how did it go for you in Des Moines? How was that? Like, because that's a completely different part of the U.S. You're going from the Northwest to the South.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was really nice, honestly. Like, so the team was really good. They invest a lot on the team. They had like a professionals. They gave us a lot of things. Coaches were amazing. They were good friends as well. So the transition was really easy. It was summer, so it wasn't cold at all. The place was small, but it has like everything you really needed. Like I was able to continue my practices. I was able to continue going to a gym, doing all my normal habits. So I didn't really struggle with that. And again, I got to know a lot of people, D1 players, fantastic players. I learned a lot from them, like getting feedback from them about like my coaching styles and all this stuff. So it was amazing. It was great experience just to give me one more step in that ladder,
Yeah, what kind of league is that? It's
USL2.
USL2. And these type of teams are basically a lot of D1 players that are trying to stay fit over the summer. Well, I mean, it's basically another notch on their resume, por decir. But these are quality players, right? And the season's, is it long or is it short? How?
Well, it depends. So the season, I mean, it's for the summer, like you said. Like there is a lot of D1s that want to continue there. But the USL2 is like kind of the most, probably I might be wrong, but I think 80% sure, I'm sure. That is like the most semi-professional, like top you can make it, So a lot of even like players that are looking for playing professional or even ex-professional players are going to be playing there. So the level is actually really high. And then, that's pretty much, like for example, in Des Moines, we have people, or at least like 2 people that already signed contracts with professional team. So it's a good step for that.
Wow. And then they're a legit team there in Des Moines. They win. That basically, because I would keep up with them through how Adam was playing with them, and they seem like a legit program.
The only issue with it, like I said, like, or you ask, the length, it kind of combines like for the playoffs with the preseasons of the big universities. So you end up like losing some of the players because they need to leave. So in the most important games, it's just like
that's tough.
You're losing your best players because they need to go to university,
Yeah, D1 players. So.
Yeah.
And then Southern Miss, how was your first season there?
Good. We went to a conference tournament. We lost on the first game, to be honest, but we lost. I cannot remember. 1-0. We had control of the whole game, and then they just had a breakaway, and then they score.
Oof.
So we have a good team, I believe. So our team is really young as well. So our team is coming back, kind of the same team and more mature and everything. So that adds a lot to the program. So next season I believe is gonna be great. And season-wise, again, we have good games. Coach Mo, he loves to have like a really tough schedule at the beginning. So you're playing like these big universities. You're playing Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU. But if you have the right mindset, you see like a great preparation for the conference. So whenever we arrive to conference, now that the universities are more matched into our like level, then it's a good competition, you know.
So you got to see a lot of universities, bigger universities.
Yeah, definitely. Their campus are just extreme. They're a dream.
Which one has been the best one that you got to visit?
I hope I'm not mistaken or saying the wrong one, but I believe it was Georgia.
Georgia's?
Yeah. Is that in Athens? I believe so.
I wouldn't be able to say. I know whenever we went to Florida, we passed by Troy. I don't know where that is at, though. I think it was in Alabama, but I don't know.
Well, we did play against Troy. So Troy is in our conference. So we did play with Troy. Their field is nice and everything. But this Georgia, wow, it was amazing. Really? And I keep bragging to, like, now that I'm visiting and they're asking, like, the same question, I'm just like, that's just another level. So the city basically is like the whole university. So everything is like around the thing, you know?
Almost like Norman, right? But Norman is a city before the university. This is
exactly. But this is like everybody dreams and loves this university and all of this. And then the campus, like we arrived to a soccer field, right? They have like they have the soccer field like background and everything. The landscape is just amazing, like mountains, trees, all of that. They have stands. They have like the huge TV that shows like the scoreboard and all that. Amazing. Everything looks perfect. And then even that, like before arriving to a field, you can see like the training field and like the soccer facilities. So they have like gym, they have like all this stuff, like offices and all that, like the storage room. So professional and so pretty. Like with all the landscapes, it's just like, I was amazed. I was there and I just told Coach Mo, like, thank you. Thank you for allowing me watching this, because it's just like, what a dream to play in this stuff. Yeah.
Imagine the players that get to experience that coming straight out of high school. Like just...
Again, and I see all the like me coming from like a junior college, coming from NAIA, and then seeing all the things that D1 players get. It's just like, this is incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. Like all the like even, I mean, this is like dumb or something like that. But for example, whenever we travel away, we stay like the night before in a hotel. You know. Here we will drive 6 hours, go play and come back. Yeah. Stuff like that, you know. Like now you're going to a hotel, they're giving you everything you have all the strength and conditional facility. You don't have to worry about certain things. Yeah, basically. You have good restaurants. Like again, even with the players, sometimes like we joke, because whenever I won conference, it was like, okay guys, let's go to Chili's, you know. And Chili's for us was like, oh my days, we just got Chili's. But now it's just like, oh, are we going again to Chili's, you know? Like, what do you mean? Chili's is great.
Yeah, I love Chili's. I actually had Chili's yesterday.
So, yeah, it's incredible, the things that they provide, and it's amazing.
Oof. If you would have known that before when you started your college soccer, would you have done anything different?
Yes. I mean, yes and no. Because, of course, like, the fact that I went to NA and all that, it was able to...
I got you where you are now, basically, right?
No, yeah, I agree. And also, like all my career was paid for, you know. Sí. So really, I didn't need to worry about money. I think on the fact of me like going to a D1, probably because I had different offers, but I will need to pay, you know. So like that balance about like, should I pay something and then have all this experience, and then on the fact of like, or just go to NAIA and then just get paid with all my career and all that. But then I think like, if I would have done different, probably work better and be more mindful about my training and actually aim to go to a D1, besides just thinking like, oh, I won't be able to afford that, you know. Like actually, because they give full rights and stuff like that, you know. Like actually working hard to go and get that opportunity in that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So at the intro of the podcast, it'll be I'm sitting down with Juan, the assistant coach of Southern Miss.
Basically, like, hey.
That's congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Dang, that's some journey, huh? Connected all the dots to get there. Who would have thought?
I know, it's crazy.
So what does this mean for goalie masters?
Well, I mean, currently, to be honest, I haven't worked that much in Goalie Masters. I haven't really had the time. Like, this cheap excuse, but there's a lot of things that we need to get done before, like, as we were speaking like a couple of minutes ago, you grow up. So you have different responsibilities. So I'm trying to post still stuff like that, but it just takes too much time to edit the videos, watch the video. And the other thing about iPhone that it kills my mind, if you record the video and then you wait like 3 days, you need to wait for it to actually download again. And then the part of downloading, it takes like 10 minutes, you know.
It doesn't store the video on your phone. It
stores
part
in
of
the cloud.
Yeah,
and then it takes forever, and I'm like, well, I don't have any time anymore to fix it. So that has been my excuse. Yeah. Oh, Android. Go to Android.
Gotta get an Android.
Probably I might.
And then the thing that I don't like sometimes is I think Apple sometimes records its videos in a different format, so you try to use it with some other type of camera and some I don't know.
Make it tough.
I'm just trying to talk bad on Apple. I just added on to you. I don't know. That sucks though. But I think what it is too is I recently moved, and when you move and you're doing something new, like internet has a bandwidth, right? It can only go so fast. It's kind of like us. We can only do so much. And when you're taking in all these new things, well, your mind is just a lot busier than it normally is because before you're just working on those automatic habits.
Definitely.
So I think maybe with time, as you start creating habits around that, like Gold Masters will come back.
And also, like right now, I'm just kind of focusing more on actually like my personal Instagram account, like trying to grow like my Juan Cediel name, you know, like the personal brand, besides just growing like Goalie Masters. I'm trying to get Javi to help me with Goalie Master. He hasn't done a great job, but we'll eventually make it there.
Bet. Yeah. So then, what are you going to do for the off-season now? Or is there an off-season? Do they probably have some type of programming for the athletes?
Yeah, so off-season is kind of the same. Like, we will still practice 5 days a week. That was the other thing that I would, like, day one is so different. For example, with NAIA, if you are out of the tournament, you're basically out. Here, the players can still go to the gym and all those stuff. Like, they can still work out, prepare, and stuff like that. I believe spring is, in a D1 program, is one of the most crucial moments because it's a moment where you actually get to develop the players, you know. Like, during season, you really don't have the moment of being like, okay, we're going to work on this, improve on this. It's just more about like, recovery game, let's go, you know. But on the spring, and again, like, us bringing most of our team back is going to be just that moment of like, okay, now we need to work on this. Let's focus on this. Let's push on this practice. Let's do this stuff. Meanwhile, again, in season, you need to be worried about like injuries and all this stuff.
That's true. So I guess a better question would be, what are some of the biggest things that surprised you as a difference from the NAIA to D1? Like, when you went back to MACU, what was the first thing that you guys told them besides the campus is just huge?
I think, again, a lot of the resources that the players have. Like, I think I was speaking with Javi about this, like, the level between NAIA and D1, like, player-wise, it might not be that big, but then whenever, like, you're actually investing on the player, on their development, then that's where they create the gap between, like, oh, you're an NAIA player. I'm not saying wrong that is a bad level or something like that, but then it creates a gap because they are focusing more on you. So they're giving you like workouts of a professional, you know, like somebody that is actually working on details on you. He's giving you like the exact things. You have the athletic trainers as well. They know exactly what you have. They have all the rehabs on you. They have like the specific stuff about you. They are giving you or providing you better food options. They care about, like, not care because everybody cares, but like you have a specific person to go about your classes and all these like small details that help you just to not stress about soccer. I mean, focus more about soccer and then being able to be flexible with the other things, kind of.
To answer my own question, like, because I played at MACU, NAIA, and just from hearing you talk, I could imagine it, but it's kind of like I can't imagine it. And if I would have known that maybe that was how it was, maybe I would have tried to take my before college days a little bit more serious, you know, because it does seem like they're very much intentional. Like you can get away at NAIA maybe and, you know, slack off and still show up to play and still do pretty good. But I seem like over there they take the details matter, right? What would you say?
No, definitely. Like again, and it's just about breeding soccer. You know, like you go to practice and then you have meetings with coaches about like videos and scouting and all this. Like technology is just in a different level. For example, also we have like this system. It's called Spirio. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But you can even like watch the soccer field. You can record all the practices, and then you can like zoom on the players. You can move it on the specific areas and all this stuff. So you're able to see like all the highlights. Your games are being on SPN. You can see yourself playing on SPN and all this stuff. You can see small details, how many passes, all this stuff. You know, like your best moments. There will like so much technology, so much money invested. So again, it's like a lot of details of you trying to succeed as an athlete.
Dang. So what does this mean for you? Like, where do you feel like you're at as a coach? Are you just a goalie coach now? Because now you're an assistant coach. So now you're probably doing a lot different type of coaching, right? Where are you? How do you feel as a coach now?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's not like a different kind of coaching. I'm still like focusing on the goalkeepers for sure. Like during practice, I focus on the goalkeepers. I'm able to give some advices to the field players and stuff like that. But it's just for me, I believe it's also like more of a learning process of how to properly communicate with the players and all this, like getting out of that like goalkeeper union, but actually like communicate with the rest of the players, figure out like set pieces, figuring out like scouting reports, how is your team playing and all this stuff. So it has been such a learning process. And again, like right now it's just about how much information can I get, how much things can I just learn, and how can I help myself to give the best and give the best to our team so we can succeed better.
Are you excited? Does it not get you excited talking about it?
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's amazing because, again, like, there are so many things that I didn't even know they exist. And now that I just learned about this, it's just like, wow, you can do all these things. So it's exciting.
That's crazy.
And then you think about it, it's just like, okay, this is D1. Just imagine, like...
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Just imagine the professionals. Yeah.
Imagine when they get to go to the World Cup and the type of services that they have there. And that's crazy. That's crazy.
All the things they do for them is just amazing.
Wow. So then it makes me curious as to think, well, what are your plans now then? Now that you have this, have you set like a 5-year plan? Are you just going to keep this going as hard as you can day by day and just see what dots connect in the future? I mean,
I mean, as for right now, I'm just focusing on that. Continue with other meets, continue working on that. One of the things that I do probably want to next year is start my PhD. See if I can get like an educational PhD. Hoping that'll be amazing. But other than that, just growing my personal brand and then just learning more and focusing on the team and see where it will take me. Hopefully one day I'll be make it to a professional team. I think I'm still pretty young and I'm still just starting. So I still need more experience. But if there's any opportunity, I'll take it. Probably. Depends on the opportunity. But that's my goal, and hopefully we can make it. Another thing I have been talking with, or like this conversation came abroad, is like the chance of coaching a national team. Of course, you see like, big time coaching a national team, but I believe it's possible if you give yourself or volunteer yourself and you know the right people, then you might be able to get into it. And I think that will be such
That'd be top. Yeah. I mean, if you can't even think about it, you know, if you can't even think that it's possible, it'll never happen.
I agree.
So the fact that you're just like, that's out there, you know, because I think like a good moral of this story, your story that you started is, you know, you always have to be nice. And you've always struck me as a person that's nice to everybody, you know, open, because you never know who you might run into at a hotel in the morning when you just stay out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Seriously. Look where it landed you, and that, you know, you just always have to be genuinely a good person. There's no reason for you not to be, because things, just the world. Have you read the book The Alchemist? I wanted to ask you.
The Alchemist, yeah, I have.
What book are you reading right now?
I'm struggling on finishing the originals. I've been the greatest. So right now, again, with the time-wise, I'm not that great of like just sitting at 3 p.m. and start reading a book. So what I'm doing is just listening to audiobooks. I just finished.
You're not cheating. It
but
still counts.
yeah, I know it still counts, but it still doesn't feel like,
cheating.
wow, I'm not ready. You know?
I can hear it in your. I can hear the guilt. I do it too, man. It's okay.
But I agree. Like you're still getting like knowledge, you know, like even with podcasts and stuff like that. I believe you're not cheating, like you said.
You're not picturing the moment as you're not drawing it with your brain, but you're still.
It's still getting it. So I'm reading that one. I'm also I'm kind of reading to Good to Great. And then the originals, it's called like that, about like, the originals. And then the last one I read, I'm trying to remember the name. It was about finance. It was really good, to be honest. I don't remember. What was it? No, I don't remember what was the name. But it was really, really, really good. I really recommend that book. Probably I'll get the name once. Yeah. But it's really good.
Man, I haven't been reading, but the one that I did recently just get was the second book of David Goggins.
Oh, no way. You got it? Oh, I think we spoke about this last time that I really wanted to read. No, I haven't
gotten too much into it, but it seems like he goes into details about things that he did mention, and then he's like, I got some other stuff that I didn't talk about.
Really? Wow, that's great.
Crazy. How is your fitness journey?
Fitness, put some some pounds in during season, but it's good. I haven't been able to be that consistent like with jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Yesterday I came and I went to a gym. I love that gym. It's amazing. I just have been busy and all that. Like you get really tired after like practicing, going to gym and all this. And then it's just like, now I need to go there and so they can kill me, you know. It's like, it doesn't sound fun.
They're just like, yo, we can tell you haven't rolled in a while.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like I have been trying different things, playing volleyball. I always love volleyball, so I'm trying different things. Goal-wise, and I love, because I said last time I'm going to run a marathon, so I will just say it again. Next year, my goal is to do an Ironman. Not the full Ironman. Yeah, I'm thinking about the short one. I don't know if I get crazy and I do the full one. The only problem is it's so expensive. That's the issue.
Yeah, how much is it to run a...
So the short one, the half Ironman, will be like $300, $400. But then think about like...
You have to get the equipment. You have to
get
the
bike. Equipment, the bike.
Gear. You have to get the food if you're going to feed yourself while you're running.
Hotels and all this. Running the full Ironman can start like around $800.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just like, I can probably not afford
Did you run the marathon?
Yeah, I did run the marathon. It was...
Here in Oklahoma City, or which one did you
run?
Yeah,
the one from Oklahoma.
Last year?
Yeah, last year. Funny story.
I did a half last year.
You did it? The half? Okay, good. That's great.
But I was... Because I respect the marathon now. Tell me about your marathon experience.
Because I respect the marathon. So, remember about the team. I called them. I was like, what day do we start practicing? May 1st. What day do you need me there? April 30th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Is that the same day or the
No,
day?
the marathon was April 30th.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know if I say April 1st, but the marathon was April 30th, right? They want me that day. I'm like, well, I have the right excuse to not run the marathon. But then I was like, you know what? Let's just be Juan Cediel, you know? Let's just be different here. So run the marathon that morning, have everything packed already in my car. Went eat with my friends. I got the best hamburger in my world.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, perfect hamburger. Drive, I don't remember how many hours, 8 hours. Make it to Iowa, sleep, wake up, morning session, practice session. For some reason, I wasn't sore. I was like, wow. If they knew I just ran a marathon yesterday, they would be shocked, you know?
Yeah, but you didn't give yourself time to be sore.
Again. And I love what you said. I know we spoke about it last recording about the quote. If you believe you can do it, or if you believe you can't, in both scenarios you're right. That has been a lot about my mantra, you know? Like, if I can do it, I can do it. If I believe I can do it, I will do it. If I believe I can't do it, all right, why I'm trying. I know I cannot do it.
What you just said hit me right here. You was like, I could run the marathon or what? Let's just be Juan Cediel and let's go. That is a special breed,
that weirdo, you know.
Let's be Juan Cediel and let's go. And that's when he became Juan Cediel. He ran the marathon, and that's crazy. Let's just be Ricardo Yo right now. Let's go.
Yeah, just be different, you know. Be somebody that somebody tells you like how in the world he does it, you know, like, and then it give you something different, you know. It give you like not a fulfillment, but just like, I don't know, just help you a lot with a lot of things.
I like the one that I've been running into a lot is one day or day one?
Oh, yeah.
That one
that
hits.
was good.
One day or day one.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah.
That's a big one. Like normally, or we struggle a lot with the thought about like, we'll just do it tomorrow, stuff like that, like.
Mhm.
But again, the moment you switch to now or
Mhm.
never, then your life changes.
Dang. Was the marathon hard? Was it easy? What time did you complete it in?
I didn't do it that fast. I was running with Joe, the
Mhm.
German. She's right now assistant at MacU. So we didn't do it that much. I think we just enjoy more the journey. Again, like it was honestly like the first, 13 miles, 10 miles. You enjoy it because everybody's like cheering on you.
Yeah,
There
but
is
when-
all this, but then whenever
Once
you
you cross that bridge,
so
Bishop
I know,
McGinnis.
There's like two over here, and there's like
It's a fork in the road.
if you go to the right, then you're like
half.
no, but
Full.
half full, and then everybody forgets about you.
Yeah.
So that's your moment of like, oh, okay, now
That's
I
when it
guess
gets
it's time
quiet.
to when it gets too quiet.
That's
Yeah,
when
exactly.
it gets quiet.
But yeah, I was with Joe. It was fun. And then at the end, again, whenever you're tired, there's more people there, so it's just like wow. And I think that boosts you with adrenaline and all that.
Yeah, I wanted to, but man, I said I respect the marathon now. I've done it twice. It's kicked my ass twice.
Yeah.
A half, I can do that with not too much training, and it could still be enjoyable. And that's what it was. It was enjoyable to
That's
just
great.
do half. When I got to that fork on the road, though, man, I couldn't run through that fork with my head held high, if that made sense. I was
Mhm.
just like half, all right, half. But as soon as I got like a little bit further, I was like, I made the best decision in my life.
Yeah,
Better
for
than
sure.
half.
No, and the aftermath is just like, why don't you just complete this? Like I even
Mhm.
spoke with Joe. Sometimes it's just like, just funny that we have this core memory of we run a marathon. Not everybody does. And you said you run too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So still, you already did it. Like
yeah.
how many people in the world has run a marathon? Not everybody.
Yeah.
You can tell. Like I did run 26 miles. Like, and again, those things build you up to be a better
Build you
person to grow.
Yeah, it's
Just-
a funny feeling though when you're running and you see the half and the full and you see everyone taking a left and you're just like, all right, I got to take a right. But I could take a left if I wanted to and just say screw the full. And then you take a right and then that's when you got to start switching your brain into like, all right, let's go. Not that I'm halfway there, but let's do one more mile, 13. Let's
Mhm.
do one more mile, 14, and then 15. The second time I ran it, I was dead by the time I got to Penn Square Mall.
Okay.
I walked.
Really?
The whole way from Penn Square Mall to downtown. I basically walked the whole thing because I was just not in great shape.
Hey, you completed.
Mhm.
You made it. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people. How many people struggle just signing up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just taking that step of signing up, you just made it. So that's what they say. I think it was Craig.
Mhm.
The hardest part of a black belt in jiu-jitsu is signing up,
Mm.
being that first white belt, showing up the first day. So
That's
you
true.
made it.
That's true. That's true.
And now, what are your goals?
Right
Yeah.
now, that's a great question. I haven't thought about my goals because I've been using the excuse of just getting used to where I'm at, getting used to my job because I just switched positions. But I do want to go back to school. I want to go back to school and finish that so I can get a degree and find a job in what I want to do that will allow me to coach. I
Yeah.
want to coach too. So that's one of the two things that I figured that have stuck with me is I need to finish that degree and I need to coach because if I get a degree, it'll help me in my coaching
Mhm.
and not necessarily the other way around. But I need to start coaching. So I would say that my goals are to get back into school, finish that, and then figure a way out to start coaching. And
That's
of
great.
course, my fitness. I've
Uh-huh.
been focusing a lot on my fitness, trying to find the best times to go during the day so that it doesn't take time away from, what I have going on here with my family. Trying to do the podcast. So now I'm trying to do that during working hours, like
Mhm.
we're doing it now. So I'm trying to get all that stuff back in. And then the football factory, the high school soccer starts again here in the fall. I mean, in the spring.
Mhm.
So I'll have to be intentional with making posts and trying to figure out ways to do that better. But that's hard because it's kind of like I don't get much help,
Mhm.
It's just, and then how do I do that with work? So trying to be better in those areas, I think, are where my mind is wrapped around
That's
right now.
So what job did you change now?
So now I'm working at a medical place called Adapt Health, and they provide like wheelchairs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oxygen for patients that need it even from hospitals. So they provide equipment, And I'm in the warehouse making sure everything is in stock, that
Mm-hmm.
we have clean equipment that comes back from the dirty equipment. It's pretty chill.
That's right.
That's pretty chill. But
Yeah.
it definitely isn't what I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I get
Yeah.
pays nice, but, you know, my mind's always on something else.
Yeah.
So I figured I got to try to do
That'll
that.
be, yeah. So I didn't know you never finished the degree.
I didn't finish my
What
degree.
degree? That's amazing, to be honest. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, what degree are you seeking for?
That's a great question. I did want to do something in communications, but then I think my general studies would work as well. But I mean, specializing in something would be great. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So I was always thinking communications, marketing is great too, because this is all kind of just like an extension of marketing,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know? But it's hard to pick something, dude. It's hard to just pick
I
something
know.
and be like, I want to do that, because I want to do a lot of things. So now that I'm older, I'm realizing that picking a degree and sticking to it is time. And, you know, it takes money to do that now too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I have to think long and hard about what I really want to do, because I
Are
don't want
you-
to regret it.
Are you a good believer of like, oh, you need university, or like there's people that say like you still need the university. There's people of why do you study? What are your thoughts?
I mean, as I'm getting older now, I'm starting to realize that, yeah, it's good to go to the university. It's good to get that degree, because it opens up doors that you wouldn't be able to if you didn't have them.
Exactly, yeah.
Honestly, like I couldn't teach at a school if I don't get some type of major, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Regardless of how hard I try or how nice I am or whoever I know, I have to have that piece of paper
Yeah, I
that says
agree.
it.
Definitely.
But in certain instances, no, not really. Like if you wanted to be, I mean, no, you do, because if you wanted to be a soccer coach, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter who or what you know, eventually you have to get licensing. So,
Yeah.
you know, rules are set in place for those reasons, for quality people to be in those positions. So you do have to jump through some hoops to be certified.
And also, I believe like the university also teach you not only about like your career, but just like how to connect with people,
Mhm.
how to be responsible, how to be disciplined, how to they just teach a lot of more about just like getting the degree.
Yeah, because if you didn't go to college, what would you be doing? Your world would be a lot smaller. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? You
Mhm.
wouldn't meet, and it's funny because when you're younger, they say go to universities, you'll meet new people, meet new opportunities. But you know, you don't really think like that when you're young. It's just like, oh, you know, whatever distractions are there to
Yeah.
get you, and that's what got me. The distractions got me good, and then my focus was somewhere else. So, but now I'm trying to go back.
There you go.
So there's my goal right there,
Mhm.
just to put it out there.
Have you thought about, because you mentioned the fitness, doing the Ironman?
The Ironman, I have. So we've been looking at the YMCA here in Rockwell, and they have a pool.
Okay.
And if we sign up, I could sign. Now there's no excuse. I have a bike. I ride
Uh-huh.
bike. So if I needed to train my bike, I can
You
take
have
my
the bike.
bike. I can run because I can run everywhere. But where do I swim?
Mhm.
Oh, now there's a pool there, and I can swim.
YMCA.
I haven't sat and talked to Bampa. You know who Bampa
Alex,
is?
yeah, Alex.
And he did the
Ironman as
the
well in
Ironman.
Florida.
Yeah, and that to me is just like jaw dropping. I was just like, dude, how? Like,
That's what I say. Like, be Alex, you know.
be Alex.
People are just think
Be
like,
Alex.
wow, he made it.
Yeah, and it's just like it changes your perspective on everything. Like
Yeah.
whenever I did the marathon, it changed my perspective on distance and
Mhm.
running. Now I'm just like, I can go out anytime and do a mile.
I
I
agree.
don't care
Yeah.
how fast it's gonna take me, but I'll complete a mile. I can do 2, 3, 4. I'll struggle to do 4 or 5 on a random Wednesday, but I can do it because I've done 26 before. So what is 5?
I know, and I agree, because then like you're speaking with somebody and they're like, oh, I need to run 3 miles, you know, and you're like,
That takes 30, 40 minutes.
I know,
You know.
I know. It's just, I think it's just so much. Like when people brag about something that you do on your day today, it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
you know, push you in another level.
That's how parents feel whenever people that don't have kids say, man, I don't have time. How the hell do you not have time to do it, dude? I have kids, I got a job, and I'm still trying to I'm finding ways to do it. So if
Yeah,
you don't
that's-
have kids and you're complaining you don't have time, you got to fix your
and
priorities.
even like with kids, I mean,
Mhm.
I clap on you, because I believe like that's so much. I know so much responsibility. Like I cannot be like. The older I get, the more I'm like grateful about my parents and everything they did for me. It's just like, wow, everything that it takes, you know, to take care about this dude over here.
Yeah, that if a goal for me right now is they're the main priority for me right now,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife. Both of our kids. We always remind ourselves that like we have 10 good years with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
After those first 10 years, we're not going to be their best friend. We're not going to be the most important thing in their life right
Mhm.
now. And you know, right now, the best thing is like whenever they have something going on at school, like they have a Valentine's dinner or they're gonna have pizza. Parents can come. I go to all of them.
Yeah, that's great.
Because like just to see when they look at you and it's just like, oh, like yeah, they're happy because at that time you're everything. You're their everything, and that's beautiful, dude. It's gonna make me cry thinking about it. But
no, it is.
So yeah, that's my priority. First 10 years, do that, and then water whatever they want to do in life. So if they want to, if my son loves to draw, so if you like to draw, here's the pencil, here's the picture, do it. Oh, you like to do, you know, video games? Let's figure something we can do with that. You know, maybe we can program, design. You know,
Yeah.
So that's been the ultimate right there. That's the goals and the priorities right there.
You're gonna make me cry too.
Yeah.
Wait. I mean, and I once, or like the thing with the professional players, you know, like for the fun, like you as a professional player just telling them like hi, it will mean their word to them. Like you said, like you're the word for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the professional player, it was just 1 second, you know, just one event, and just you change somebody's life, you know.
Messi takes his shirt off at an Inter Miami game and just hands it to a little kid. He
just made his life, you know. For
Yeah.
Messi, it's just that shirt, but it's just like wow.
Does that happen to you as the assistant coach at the college? Do you have people going, coach?
No. So on the Mois in Menes, it's kind of that scenario again. Like the city, or I believe it's the city. The city is really small, so the club is really big, and again they invest a lot. So like after every game, like the fans will go into the pitch and all that, and the players will give like signatures and stuff like that. Of course, nobody cares about the goalkeeper coach, but one kid came to me and was like, "Oh, can I have your signature?" I was like, "Wow."
Yeah. All the way around, it made you feel good?
Yeah, it made me feel good, but yeah, it's crazy.
Nice, dude. What is something that you hammer into the goalies' minds when you're making these videos? Like, what's one piece of advice if you had to give a goalie? Like, what's the go-to that you'd like to
work on yourself? I actually was also speaking with one friend, and we were joking about I think I told him about the podcast, and he was like, "Oh, let's practice," or something like that. And then he kind of did me kind of the same question about like, what do you think will be the most important for a goalkeeper? And I think just the most important is about like the mindset, believing it, being intentional about your stuff. I think I posted a video a couple of days ago, just growing as a person, understanding more. Like I have this person that I hear a lot of times, and he said like keeping the promises you make yourself. Whenever you start like doing that, you just stack wins, and then you're a different person. And then when you have all the respect, you respect yourself, you have the confidence in yourself, then the world is more for you. Like then you can go and perform on the field. You can believe that you can do all this, but then all of this came just for actions, you know. It's not about you telling yourself in the mirror like I'm a great goalkeeper. It's about showing up and knowing that you're a great goalkeeper because you said you were gonna do this stuff and you did it. You know?
I'm curious, what does goalie training for D1 athletes, what does that look like compared to training someone as a goalie for the first time, or being a rec, or even like, you know, club coaches? Because D1 goalies are great. They're really good. Yeah. So like how do you even try to improve on someone that's already great? Like, are you just, you know, what does that look like for you? I mean, assessment, evaluations. Yeah,
of course, like they're in a good level. Like you won't be able to teach them the whole techniques stuff, you know, like if they already have some habits, it will be impossible to switch it, and especially like in the period of time that you have. Like if they dive this way, you won't be able to actually 100% switch it. With little kids, of course, you need to build those techniques. You want to teach them these techniques. But with the old ones, I believe it's more about, like, for example, with the D1s, having conversation of, like, what will be more effective, and then just keeping them in shape. And, of course, like, trying to implement those little things, those little techniques, but it's not like you're going to change all their game, you know? Like, for example, you can talk more about strategies, like, if they give you a ball, if you are playing short or stuff like that, we can build like that. Make sure you're looking at this pass, make sure you're doing this before doing this. But like you won't be able to really tell them like, hey, you need to catch the ball this way. Like if you're already catching the ball like this and this is the way you are, like
just
of course you can tell them. Yeah, but I mean yeah, kind of. Like you won't be able to change a lot from them. But you are able to provide feedback. With the little kids, you can
do a lot.
Yeah, build them, you know.
That's what I was wondering, because you know, It's tough to be a goalie, and then in that level because everyone likes to score goals. Practices, you're just getting goals scored on you. So you have to have a different type of mentality for a goalie, right?
Exactly.
What if someone has a little kid and for a dad that has a little goalie, like what type of advice do you give that dad for a little kid? What advice would you have loved to hear? You know, or you're like, remember when Messi's kid said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a goalie," and he goes, "Hey, hijo de puta, it's crazy."
Why are you doing me this?
Yeah, like why? You know?
Yeah.
Because not everybody likes being a goalie. You know.
I think just like have fun on the position. You know, helping them to have fun. Like not really seeing the pressure of like, oh, what if I make a mistake and stuff like that. Just like really enjoying it and basically like not putting extra pressure on them of what they already have. You know, like. Giving that, I think that would be my biggest advice.
Sheesh, a lot of pressure, huh? Okay, before we do wrap it up, did you watch the World Cup?
I mean,
of course,
yeah.
duh, right?
I mean, I don't know what specific event are you gonna ask me about, but yes.
Okay, hold on, let me hit the record.
Don't kill me with the question here.
What kind of obvious question is that?
No, but then you're gonna ask me like something really specific, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I have no clue.
No, nothing specific. I just the World Cup happened from the last time I had seen you, and what'd you think? Like how'd you interpret it? Like, wasn't it not the best World Cup final that you had ever seen?
100%. So I love that Messi won. My biggest complaint, and haters gonna hate whatever. Diego Martinez is not that great of a goalkeeper.
You don't think so?
Everybody after the World Cup, oh, Diego is the best. Like,
he is overhyped.
Mate. Look at him, like he's not the best one, you know, like it is what it is. But I love Messi. I mean, it was great that he won, and yeah, it was big final.
But he had a big save.
I mean, he did. I mean, yeah, that's 100%. I mean, I'm not gonna say like he saved Argentina for sure, but again, like you make a huge save, and now everybody thinks that he's the best goalkeeper in the world.
Would you ever try to put yourself in his position when he saw that ball go up, pressuring the guy who's about to take the volley? You've played soccer. You've been in a type of position where you have like a do or die block. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean when I say like the world just slows down.
Oh, that'll be crazy.
Bounces. And then he takes the volley. And you know that the whole crowd, there, he can't hear nothing.
Yeah. And
then he blocks it. Like that type of feeling. Like, could you imagine?
Amazing. Unique. But I mean, I think during the moment he probably don't realize about it, but then just the aftermath.
Looking
like,
back on it,
wow, what he did was amazing. Yeah,
how about
incredible?
watching Mbappe score 2 back to back. Boom, boom.
Crazy.
No,
that was one of the best finals. Yeah, that was special. So that's the beauty of soccer.
Beauty of soccer. Who was your best goalie for you then of the tournament?
You know, you're killing me because again, like my memory is so bad. Mm-hmm. World Cup.
I'll tell you one, bro. So look, I went inside and I have this for you here because I thought you'd like this, but I thought this guy did really good right here.
Who they won from Morocco?
Morocco, yeah. So here, you're a goalie.
Oh my, no way.
You have a collection going. It's
Thank you. Sevilla goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He did great. Thank you.
Of course. I hope you enjoy that.
Are you collecting all of this or like?
I open boxes and whenever I find stuff that I know that someone else would appreciate, I always like to give it because I feel like that's just it. If I kept it, it wouldn't mean more, but it means so much more now that I gave it to you. Mm-hmm. That card means more to me now because I gave it to you, and now instead of you opening it, receiving it as a gift also means more than just I know
100%. This is going straight to my office. 100%, man.
Awesome.
People they will ask me like, "What is this?" And the story behind it is amazing.
Yeah, and then the video will be up, so you'll
all of this. I mean, the fact that we're able to come here and talk, again, I really wanted to come, and I do enjoy a lot speaking with you. I believe like we have good conversations, and I think we actually don't go that deep on like things we wish we could talk.
Yeah. But we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So if you ever come back to Oklahoma City, let me know. Hopefully we're not recording in my garage. We can do something a little bit more upscale. Mm-hmm. But man, just being able to record sometimes is just really good too.
I enjoy it, and even like without the mics and stuff like that, like you're a great person. You have a lot of knowledge, a lot of things to offer. It's just I really appreciate being able to be your friend, being able to communicate with you. I wish we could talk more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this just until next time.
Yeah, I
you
know.
never know. You never know. You know,
Yeah.
maybe we're gonna go. Maybe when I'm in southern Mississippi, like, I'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah, and definitely again, just I mean to wrap it up is. I keep forgetting the word. I think my English is getting worse by the years, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's just like again, claps on you on everything you do. Like it's a lot, you know. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Well, Juan, I appreciate you for coming in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Oklahoma. You leave on Monday.
yes, sir.
Dude, you went to MacU. How crazy has MacU been?
What do you mean? On what
Like
sense?
ranked number 1.
Oh yeah, I mean,
crazy season.
now it's boring. They're winning everything. It's just like, oh, they won again.
Were you
But
surprised that they were gonna do it again?
not really. I mean,
No.
Neil, great person, great leader. The standards were. I mean, it was kind of hard because we were like, oh, the whole team is kind of new and stuff like that. But he's such a great leader, such a good coach.
Yeah. Shout out to the guys at MacU for the SAC championship. Shout out to SNU. Shout out to the freshmen that, killed it, the inner city freshmen.
Yeah, shout out to Oklahoma.
Shout out to Oklahoma City. Shout out to you. Shout out to Southern Mississippi. And shout out to the Mass Football Podcast, man.
There you go.
Peace.
Yes, sir.